let's move on to the NBA and let's just talk about the schedule. So the schedule is just released,
Hmm.
and we were able to
Exciting
see
stuff.
what 8 games each team will be playing. And yeah, so kind of going down the line and kind of reaffirming what the structure will be because it is new now. Basically, what happens is the first 8 teams will make the playoffs like usual, per usual, but there's a caveat. The number 9 seed has a chance to win in basically if they're 4 games out of the 9 seed. So say the Wizards, the Wizards are 5 games below the Magic in the standings. So if they were to win a few games and get 4 games or lower or 4 games less, then they can play the Magic. And if the Wizards win twice, they are in the playoffs and overtake the Magic. So pretty cool. You only need to be 4 games out, and that just brings in the whole why the 8 games are so impactful now. It's not just a warm up, but it's more money for the NBA, but it also makes it more fun. So I'm gonna quickly go over the standings, and then Ryota, let's talk about what team we think has maybe the easier schedule, or what team we think has a good chance at making up ground with these 8 games, and then I want to know your favorites to win the whole thing. So okay, so in the East, okay, yeah, well that's a lie. Okay, so in the East, pretty much the same. The Bucks have the number 1 record. The Raptors are 2, Celtics 3, Heat 4, Pacers 5, 76ers 6, Nets 7th, and Magic 8th. And then the Wizards are the only team from the East to get the invite to Orlando. They are 5 games out of the Magic, so they obviously need just to win one more or get 1 game closer to get that seed in. For the West is now kind of where things shift. I'm quickly going to go through this. Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Jazz, Thunder, Rockets, Mavericks, Grizzlies in that order lead the standings. And then you have the Trailblazers 4 games back from the Grizzlies.
3 games, I think.
Well, 4 games back in the loss column.
Oh,
Right?
I see.
Yeah. 3.5 games. Yeah, you're right. 3.5 games, but they need to win 4 games to kind of get that. I think that's how it works, right? Or is it 3.5?
I think this
Whatever.
says they're 21 and a half behind the first. So they're 3 games behind.
3.5.
Oh, no, 3.5.
But it looks they're 32. So the Grizzlies are 32 and 33,
I think
and
they're all
then
3.5
the
for me.
Trailblazers are 29 and 37. So that's 4 games in the loss column. Fine, we'll just say 3.5. We'll say 3.5. Okay, so Trailblazers, Pelicans, Kings are 3.5, and then the Spurs are 4 games back, and the Suns, well, the Suns are 6 games, so that they need a long shot. But basically, the West is where we kind of want to talk about, just because they have some intriguing games. So, Rita, give me who won the schedule, kind of
Yeah.
now.
I mean, so when I looked at the schedule, the way I kind of decided who had a good or bad schedule is just looking at how many good, like top tier teams they play. So, for
Right.
example,
Okay.
I said that Boston has a pretty lenient schedule because the only top tier team they play is the Bucks. But when
Yeah.
you compare to, let's say, I said the Raptors have a tough schedule. The Raptors, they play the Nuggets, Lakers, and Bucks. And Boston, actually, I should throw Boston there. So they technically play 4 really good teams.
Mm-hmm. In
Compared to the
the
Boston,
8 games,
who only
yeah.
plays, I mean, they play the Nets, Grizzlies, Heat, Bucks, Blazers, Raptors. So, I mean, there's some respectful teams, but they're not like the elite teams we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say like Boston's one of the winners. I thought the Magic have a lenient schedule. Same with the 76ers for the East. And I said the Raptors have the worst schedule for the East.
Yeah. The Raptors do. So the Raptors start out with Boston, and then they have to play the Nuggets, and then they have to play the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And then their last game is with the 76ers. So that's the one team I said had the hardest draw. Granted, this is based off of what the remaining schedules, kind of strength of schedule is going to be, but still, oh my gosh, that is
But
tough.
I mean, they're also in second place, so like it's not like they're potentially might have to get into the whole play-in thing. They're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
regardless.
yeah. So then
but
let's
yes,
go. Let's go to Washington. So Washington plays Boston, the Nets, Pacers, Bucks. Pelicans, OKC, 76ers, and then the Suns. I don't even think that's a tough slate for Washington.
Yeah, I mean for
And
Washington compared to like, well, but I mean again, if you look at it, the top tier teams they play Boston is second place. Or no, wait, what team is Boston? Boston's in, oh, Boston's in
Boston?
first. No, wait, what place?
Boston's third,
Boston's
yeah.
third. Okay, so they play a third place team, the Nets, who they're in contention with. The Pacers are middle of the bracket. Bucks are obviously first. Pelicans, who are trying to contend. OKC is trying to contend. No.
Mhm.
OKC's in. Sorry, 76ers are in, and the Suns are trying to contend. So I think Washington, like, it's not an easy schedule, but I think it's respectable. It's a lot better than the Raptors, for example. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. So okay, so to give more context, the Nets are 7 or yeah. So the Nets could technically are probably in the playoffs.
I
Don't you
think
think?
it's going to be between the Magic and the Wizards
Okay,
for sure.
so
I mean, I don't think the Wizards are going to catch up to take the eighth place, but I think they'll definitely have a good chance to come back between 4 games, which would force the play in.
yeah, I just don't think the Wizards are very good to begin with. I don't even think they should have got this chance. But it just
I
shows
mean,
how
it's Bradley
they
Beal
just
Magic. Bradley Beal Magic, Thomas Bryant.
if
Oh,
Bradley
they
if
don't. David Bertans is not playing. Is
he
he
is
on the
not playing,
Wizards?
yeah, he is not playing. He
That
did
is a
say
very low key, underrated, terrible loss for the Wizards.
yeah.
I
I
couldn't have said that any better. The deadly
I
3-point shooter. I think he was a key part of that team. I mean, they don't have John Wall back. I mean,
mhm.
what's their starting five? They have.
Don't they have Rui still? Isn't he's or is
Oh
he
yeah, they have
he
Hachimura, and he
yeah,
was
Hajime.
injured, so he's going to be healthy,
He'll be healthy, yeah.
which is good. But I mean, let's see. The Magic also. I was reading earlier. They're going to be healthy. Fournier is going to be completely healthy back.
But this is
They
the
have
Magic you're
Vucevic.
talking about.
The what?
The Magic. I mean, Bradley Beal should have been an all-star, I know, but that's all they have. I mean, you
Okay,
got to
so
think
okay,
Brooklyn can
let's
hold
say
on.
Wizards get one extra game behind, so they're fourth. They who get
Okay, so
play
okay,
on.
fine. Say
Who has a
say
better team, Magic or
Washington
the Wizards?
Washington beats Brooklyn in the second game, right?
Okay,
Then we'll see. I mean,
but Toronto has to lose one at least. Remember, because that has to make a 1 win, 1 loss is 1 game behind. But
yeah.
which they'll I mean, I don't think they're gonna. Orlando's gonna win out. Sorry, did I say Toronto? I meant Orlando. Um, but
No,
Orlando
yeah.
has an easy schedule too. Not easy, but they play Celtics and the Raptors. Those are the top 2 teams that I see. So I mean, if Washington, because if you think about it, if Washington and Orlando, they both go 4-4, Washington would not force the play in, right?
Okay.
Washington would need to go 5-3, and Orlando would need to go 4-4 for 4-4, for example. Right? That was bad. Right. So I think that's very doable. I think for the Wizards. I mean, I just want to see the plan. I think we're going to see a plan. We're going to see a plan no matter what for the West, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the West more, but just to
Yeah.
finish up on the East, I
I just want to see a plan and see what it's like.
but I don't think that will happen in the East. I think the Wizards. I think okay. Granted, the Magic. Okay, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think the Magic have a better team than the Nets. Look, you don't have Kyrie, you don't have
Oh no,
KD.
yeah. I wish the Nets weren't there. I wish the Nets were in
Okay,
ninth and wouldn't make the playoffs, but
but
they're going to.
I'm saying now, hear me out. So the Wizards are 5 games back from the Magic. The Magics are a half a game back from the Nets. Maybe the Nets will drop all the way from 7th to 9th. Is that possible? And tell me if it is.
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think they're going to lose that many games. They play. Oh, actually, they play
But you only need to get
Celtics,
4 games.
Clippers,
You only need to
Bucks,
be 4
Magic,
games.
Magic.
That's what I was looking at too.
So let's
So
say so
so they play the Celtics, they play the Clippers, and then they play
so
the Bucks,
so what would
and then they
happen?
play the Magic
So
twice.
if I have my math correct, the Nets, because the Wizards are 6 behind the Nets, right? So that means if the Nets went 4-4, the Wizards would need to go 6-2.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I
I
could see that, but I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie Magic.
oh,
Whenever Kyrie is hurt and doesn't feel like playing, Spencer Dinwiddie says, "Fine, I'll take over the team and I'll just carry the team and just." Let me look up the starting lineup right now.
I mean, they do have a. I think they do have a better team than Washington because I don't know why Washington Wizards are in this playoffs thing in the first place. But
But yeah, but it makes it
looking at the
interesting.
schedule, I think they have the better chance of losing out.
Hmm.
They have to play the Celtics first. They
Right.
have to play the Clippers. They have to play the Bucks, and then they have to play the Magic twice, right? So the
Yeah.
team,
Now that I'm looking at the Nets, I'm even more skeptical because I think Wilson Chandler's opting out, and he is one of their 3 or 4 in the lineup. And right now they only have Dinwiddie, Harris, Levert, Jordan, and then I don't know who to replace Chandler. It might be Jared Allen, but he usually is the backup 5, or he starts with. Okay, so you're right.
yeah,
Now I'm a little more
I don't know.
skeptical.
I don't know, but it's really fun because the very last game they played the Washington Wizards, if I'm getting that right.
Mm.
So we'll see
I
what
think this would be
happens.
interesting to see. But now that I think about it, yes, the Nets might actually end up being the 8th place team, or even the 9th place team, and they have to win double. Yeah, because I mean, you're right. The Orlando Magic is a good team. I do like the Magic. They
I
have
do
a
too.
they have a pretty good young team, and you also like them because they have Fultz. I know why. Um, but I mean, I like the Wizards. I like Hachimura. I like what Thomas Bryant has become. I still like Bradley Beal. They have Shabazz Napier at the 1 most likely, because they don't have IT anymore. But
Hmm.
um,
And Isaiah Thomas might actually
for
well
the
has a chance to
Lakers,
get onto a playoff team. So we'll
he
see where
might go
he
to the
lands.
Lakers. Actually, no, maybe not because they just signed J.R. Smith.
They just said
But they were saying he could be.
it'll be
We should
interesting.
talk about IT after this. After we talk about a schedule, we could talk about what teams he could potentially play for. Maybe
We'll
the
see.
Wizards. No, the Wizards don't want him back. Okay, but for the West,
Yeah, let's go to the
um,
West.
the hardest schedule that I saw was OKC. They play Nuggets, Clippers, Lakers, 3
Yeah,
top tier teams. But
those are.
again, they're in
But aren't
fifth
they already
place.
set up to
They're
win?
in 5th place, so they're not
Yeah,
worried.
I guess if they're trying to move up,
Hmm.
it will be interesting to see what happens. Like if how teams
Hmm.
kind of go about this.
Hmm.
If they're trying to maybe like rest more because they're in
Hmm.
the playoffs, or if they're actually trying to make a push up,
Hmm.
and hopefully have a better chance of in the playoffs when it
Right.
comes.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I think the Lakers are entrenched in the number 1 spot. The Clippers
Yeah.
are 5.5 games back, so
Yeah.
I don't know if there's no
Yeah.
way.
I mean, and also those top teams, like I mean, as important as seeding is that right English?
Yeah, seeding is.
As important as seeding is, it's not as important again about the health. Like they're gonna slowly integrate the
Yeah,
star players in. So like for the top couple teams, I don't imagine them moving around too much. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they make pacts against each other and say, okay, let's just have a nice scrimmage today. Who cares about winning?
no way.
I know, okay, but you know what I mean, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't think
they
they're too
definitely can go
worried.
east. They
Like
definitely
the
can do
Nuggets
load
don't. The
management.
Nuggets don't care if they become the 4th or 5th place team.
Okay, so
I
then
mean, they do, but they're going to be more worried about making sure
yeah, Jokic
everyone's
is
healthy.
yeah.
Bench players get some time to add some time. But I think
So
the West will be interesting because
yeah, I mean, but the
let's
thing
talk
is,
about it. Yeah.
there's only the 8th spot, right? The 8th spot
Hmm.
is the only one open. I
Right.
mean, the Mavericks have a substantial lead over the Grizzlies. There's
Yeah.
7
Unless
games,
the Mavericks go 0-8 and the Grizzlies go 8-0, there's no way that they're going to flip.
and even then, it's like no. There's that I would put money on that. That does not happen. The Mavericks go 0-8.
Yeah. They will.
But so yeah, so now we only have that one spot. It's not like the East in a sense where everything is kind of neck and neck.
Hmm.
There's some distance. So the 8th spot is the one spot. Memphis has that, and then I honestly think the Blazers can have a pretty good chance at winning this. They get Nurkic back. They get Yusuf Nurkic back, and they get
Is that
Miles
confirmed?
Leonard.
Nurkic is going to be back.
Well, yeah, he should be back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they should have him back healthy. They lose Trevor Ariza.
I think, which is
Um,
actually another huge loss, kind of like the Bertans thing. I think
yeah, he is a good 3-point shooter and good defender.
I mean, he filled in for Hood. I mean, they got Melo, but Ariza is like a pretty good role player and plays really good defense. So I think that could be a huge
I think that will
difference
have an impact. But I think getting those 2 big guys back and being able to play bigger
maker.
can pay dividends. Just
They
because
don't
they've
have
had.
Zach Collins on the bench, though. I think I think he's still injured.
Is he still injured?
I think so.
Well, we'll see.
But I mean,
But
the Blazers have a I mean, on paper, they have a really good team. Whiteside, Carmelo. I don't know who's going to play the three now.
Mhm.
CJ and Dame.
Well,
Well, actually,
and
no, wait.
this is the team that also
Bazemore's injured.
did a run last year. So I mean,
Yeah, I think they're
I don't
surprisingly
count
had
out
a very.
Dame.
They just couldn't figure it out this year. I don't know if
Yeah,
something to do with the Whiteside
I think it was injuries.
chemistry,
I think it was injuries too.
but
Like Nurkic was very good with him. Like he was
but
one of,
Whiteside's. Did you
but
see Whiteside's like fantasy basketball stats this year?
But
Couple double
Whiteside. What I'm saying
monster.
is, I think Nurkic has the ability to play deeper in games and isn't a
Oh,
liability when it
yeah, for sure.
comes to like.
Yeah.
So I think, and
I mean,
he's also a big
I'd
guy. Like
choose
this guy
choose
can
Nurkic over
play with the
Whiteside
yeah.
any day, but I definitely like Whiteside still a good replacement.
And also, we have to also take into account that Nurkic is coming back from a huge injury, so he might not be
Yeah.
the best or like in full health. But
Mhm.
I still think that could be kind of a sleeper team, and make it probably in the playoff games. They're
I
four
mean,
and a half back, so
all of these teams that are hanging there, like uninvited, they're all really good teams.
yeah. The
Like
Pelicans
the
too. Should we talk?
Pelicans are amazing. Like
Yeah,
they're gonna win the NBA championship in 3 years. Um, but I mean, the Spurs are still the Spurs. I mean,
I
their
don't think the
lineup is
Spurs are gonna.
not
I don't
their lineup
think.
is not as strong this year, but I mean, it's still Popovich's team. The
Yeah.
Suns are a pretty good team. They have Aiden finally back.
Okay. Well.
They
Okay.
have Rubio. They have Kelly Oubre, who's just been a star recently.
But
I didn't even say
yeah.
the best player yet, Devin Booker.
Okay, but
So
we're also taking into account that these guys are going up against the best of the best now. It's like they're not gonna have to. They're not gonna play like the bottom dwellers.
well, no, yeah.
So
But
I don't know
I'm
if they
also
have
looking at the West schedule. So the Pelicans, Suns, and Spurs. I said those three teams have a pretty lenient schedule out of those teams.
Pelicans. Sorry, Pelicans. What?
Pelicans, Spurs, Suns.
And also Memphis. Oh,
I didn't even
Memphis.
look at Memphis. Memphis is
Uh.
they play Celtics, Bucks, Pelicans, which are a major threat. Oh,
Well,
so I guess their schedule's not too difficult as well.
yeah.
But,
And Memphis is the team though to look out for because that's the team that's gonna switch.
and if
And
you and for any of these teams, it's not going to be easy. Memphis has Jonas Valanciunas. They have I'm just blanking. John
Jaw,
Morant. They have
Jaren,
Jaren
JJ,
Jackson, who's going to be back and healthy.
Triple
They
J,
have Brandon Clark.
and then Justice Winslow probably. I
Winslow,
mean,
hopefully back.
we'll see what happens. And
Al
then you
Anderson, who's still somehow a productive player.
they got a good team. They also got the guy from Gonzaga who is very bouncy and a great defender. I think his last name's Clark.
Brandon
Blanking on his
Clark? No, that's not
I'm
Brandon Clark.
blanking on his first name, but
Okay.
Clark something.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
D'Anthony Clark? No.
No, he was.
D'Anthony
It's
Melton. That's what I'm thinking.
no. Brandon.
Brandon Clark.
Yeah.
The power forward?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he's from Gonzaga.
Yeah, he was.
Cool.
But he's also a good defensive. I honestly
And he'll be back healthy. He was injured at the end of the season, I think.
I think Memphis has maybe I enjoy watching Memphis probably the most. And
I think a fun matchup would be Memphis versus Pelicans.
Yeah, I think the fun matchup will be does Memphis play the Lakers? Or does the Pelicans play the Lakers?
Pelicans play who? Yeah, they play the Lakers the first game of the season, right? Wait, no.
No.
Who am I thinking of? Oh, they play the Clippers. They play Kawhi the first game of the season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see. But yeah.
I think okay, so my teams out of the East, or who I think is going to make it, I think the Wizards are going to be interesting and they're going to make it. And then for me, the Pelicans are going to beat the Grizzlies, no doubt.
But I mean, you just talked up the Blazers. I made you talk
I did,
up the
but
Blazers.
do you want me to tell you what the
about
Pelicans starting lineup is? Okay, let's talk about the Blazers real quick.
Well, we just talked about Blazers. Let's
okay.
talk. Okay, let's move on to Pelicans then. Let's talk about the Pelicans. Tell me
what you know.
I mean, they have Brandon Ingram, who is having a great year, probably his career year. They should pay him. They need to pay him.
23, 22, just to start
20,
for him.
20. I think this is his fifth year, fourth year.
Fact check it.
Yeah, check
it. Where's our intern? Is he on break again?
Oh my gosh. Okay, and then we have
22.
JJ Redick. Fun fact about JJ Redick: he's always made the playoffs in his career. So It's crazy. He's just on winning teams. Um, and then you have Zion, of course, who we'll have to really see because this is going to be. I know Zion has a break, but he is also. A lot of people are saying he might be injured. Like the percentage of him being injured in this kind of condensed season or schedule is pretty high, just because he is such a big guy. And
but I think also people forget he's younger, so like
yeah,
people
but
could say
he's
the
also
same for like LeBron. You know,
I know, but he's also just yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if his body can hold up.
yeah,
I
it will. It will.
mean, I don't have any that it won't, but okay. And then yeah, you have Lonzo, who has if his shot's on, he can be a threat. But yeah, I mean, the team's good. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. The team's good. I don't know
But you
if
forgot about the best player.
the team's good. I'm
You
just gonna say
forgot
the
about Drew
team's
Holiday.
okay. I'm just gonna say the team's good. I
No,
don't
no,
want to bring up.
no. You have to admit. You just admit that you forgot the best player.
No, I didn't admit because if I said that, I would give you more ammo. The team's good. I still think I would take the Blazers in a 1v1 game if they have that chance. We'll see what happens.
Who has a bigger bench?
Well,
Better,
who's more
not
experienced? Who's been to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Western Conference.
Western Conference Finals, yeah, sorry.
But people always say it's about experience, but is it?
It really is.
Zion's been to March Madness.
Yeah, but oh my, well, yeah, that's college.
I will be
And he
honest though,
lost.
if the
He lost.
I'd be honest, if the Pelicans played the Blazers right now, they would be at advantage at the center position because Derek Favors is pretty short for center. He'd
I would
get
take
bullied by
Dame.
Hassan and Nurkic, but you have Drew Holiday. I'm not going to say he's going to only allow Dame to score 10 points. I mean, sure, Dame will score 30, but Drew's going to play good defense on him. You have Brandon Ingram at the 3 or 4 spot, and who's going to play defense on him for the Blazers?
Yeah,
Not Ariza.
they do lose. They do. Yeah, they did lose Trevor Ariza.
They have Zion who's going to dunk all over Carmelo and take advantage of his lackluster defense.
Well,
and Lonzo's going to play decent defense on CJ, or maybe they'll switch with Dame.
Yeah,
they have JJ Redick off the bench. You have who else am I thinking of? Why am I blanking? Oh, you have Jackson Hayes who comes in a hit. We have Josh Hart.
I'm just saying, okay, it will be interesting, but it will be that one game, and I do think that one game plays a huge fact. I mean, this is one. It's not like a series, you know. You don't have multiple games.
All I want to say, I think a lot of people want to say, is they want to see Pelicans in the bracket.
Well, of course, and I think the NBA wants to see that too.
So it's going to happen.
We'll see. We'll see. And we're also just forgetting that both of these teams, well,
so they're contending against the Grizzlies, not against each other.
Yeah. So we'll see what the Grizzlies think. We kind of went through that team. I think that team, they have to get past the Celtics. They have to get past the Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Also,
it's a tough team, actually. I kind of was wrong about that.
Once we get into the playoffs, is it like the first place plays the 8th place, second place?
Yeah, then it'll go back to normal. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So if the bracket was how it was right now, or if we went into the bracket right now, what do we think? I mean, let's start with the East. So the Bucks are going to beat the Magic. Raptors will beat the Nets. Celtics, 76ers. What do you think?
Celtics, 76ers. So 76ers have struggled away from their home historically in the postseason. But the Celtics are young. That will definitely go 7 games, I think. You know, the 76ers haven't had the best chemistry. Al Horford hasn't really been that kind of guy to lead them.
He wasn't the same as he was on. I mean, he's still putting up good numbers, but he's not a part of that system. He was really good with the Celtics. Yeah, he was. And I think that's just because the Celtics kind of formed that team around him, you know. They didn't really have a true center at the time. I mean, he was a great passer too. So I don't want to say he's a Draymond, but in the same way. No, yeah. I mean, you can definitely say that. He distributes the ball really well. I think he's better than Draymond. And I don't think wow, that was I think he is. I mean, they are different players for sure. So it's hard to compare, but just in that way that they control the game and they can pass the ball, I think Horford's kind of underrated in that aspect.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's the teams he's been on. He's led to victories.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was on the Atlanta Hawks team when they won like 60 games.
Mm-hmm.
He was the main force there, and then he went to the Celtics and he started winning. And as we can see, the 76ers are different because they have Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid is
Mm-hmm.
the top tier center. So that you kind of lose kind of Horford's specialty, and he
Mm-hmm.
needs the ball, and he can like pass around, and his court vision is amazing. So I don't know. It will be interesting because the Celtics, they don't really match up well in the front court, especially the center position. But
I mean, they have Enes
Jason
Kanter.
Tatum, Well, I'm worried about Kemba Walker's injury now. So he's had a lingering injury throughout the season. Hopefully it's healed, but I'm kind of worried about that.
Yeah.
We'll
Well, I
see.
mean, I just like how the Celtics play. I mean, I think the Celtics have a much more better idea of who they are as identity. 76ers are kind of like, oh, let Joel post up. Oh, let Ben
Yeah.
Simmons drive. Oh, let Tobias dribble around and take shoot a three eventually. But the Celtics are much more, I think they're much more of a team. Makes them fun to watch. They have Jaylen Brown, Kemba, Gordon, Tatum. I mean, they're just such a well-rounded team. They're not a bunch of ISO players, I guess.
Yeah, but then
Well,
again,
that's not entirely true, but
yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, the 76ers
I take the Celtics.
You'll take
I
the
don't know
Celtics?
about you.
I think I'll take the Celtics too, just because of what I've said leading up to this.
Yeah.
I think the 76ers, personally, I think the 76ers had a better chance last year, and getting kind of Horford and spending that money could have gone elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As
They
much as I
also
like
lost
Simmons,
JJ Redick.
they just the system isn't working that they're playing in.
Yeah, I think the big loss was Redick last year. I think
Yeah.
they do need that 3-point shooting, and now they're missing it.
What happened to their draft pick from a couple of years ago? Zaire Wade or
yeah. I think he's still on the team. I think he hasn't really blossomed.
Is he a 3-point shooter or is he a slasher?
I think he's more of a defensive
Okay.
guard area. I think, what was their draft pick this year? I don't think Thibault. Of course. And like I've said this before, when Thibault played at Washington, he was more of a defensive small forward kind of guard that is amazing at defending. So that's where I think they have the kind of advantage in the defense area, because you have Simmons, you have Horford, you have Embiid and Thibault.
I could see that.
So those guys you could lock those guys up, but it might come down to the 3-point shooting, and I know Thibault hasn't really had that yet in his game, and we know Ben Simmons can't really hit threes.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
That's true. That's right. That's a good point, because Simmons could just pass to Redick in the corner. It's a three. It's assist, but
yeah,
I mean, Tobias can still shoot. I mean, I'm not. He's not that he still can't shoot. He can. He's a really good shooter, but. I feel like Harris isn't much of a catch and shooter like Redick.
Yeah,
he's an off dribble shooter.
We'll see what happens. I think I would give the edge to the Celtics right now with what I'm seeing from when the season was suspended, and as of right now, the standings are having the matchup.
Yeah.
And then the Heat versus the Pacers. I think this would be the Heat's.
You think so?
Game. Yeah,
I think.
Victor Oladipo.
The Heat have been so good this year. But let me check. So Pacers have Sabonis,
Miles Turner.
Brogdon tested positive recently, so I don't know if he's gonna.
I don't think he will
be ready.
Yeah, and then Victor Oladipo is coming back, which I don't think he's not. He's coming off his injury. I don't think he should play.
TJ Warren too.
Yeah, I think the Heat are really fun to watch.
Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's fucking amazing, and he's always been good, and I'm really excited about him. I mean, being on a really good team right now, he was on a good team last year, or last year, right? Sixers, but I didn't like him with the Sixers.
He was on a lot. So he was on the Sixers, and then he was with Karl Anthony Towns. But before that, he was with the Bulls.
I forgot about
so he's been with a lot, but it's fun now that this is his team.
Yeah, he's fitting in.
And they got Bam. So he's a great center.
Wasn't he an All-Star this year?
I think so. I think he was one of the reserve
Butler,
All-Stars.
They had Jay Crowder, who's always a great veteran role player. They still have Goran.
And then
Hero,
Yeah,
Iggy,
Tyler Hero.
Derek Jones. So
Who did they get from Memphis? Didn't they, or is that they got Crowder
wait,
from Memphis? Yeah.
wait,
So,
wasn't Crowder on the Jazz, or was that the year before that?
oh,
Also, we also forgot to talk about Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn's on that team.
oh yeah, the other rookie. They have so yeah. I would take I think from what I'm seeing right now with the Pacers probably not having Brogdon,
Yeah,
um,
Pacers just a lot of question marks right now.
Victor
So
Oladipo is still up in the air. I would have to say the Heat would
hmm
win this. But then again, of course, this all changes. This can all change. There's
hmm
there's a lot of ability for these standings to happen in the East,
can you
especially.
repeat what you just said?
So yeah,
They lagged
who's
out a
your
little bit.
favorite? Sorry.
It lagged out a little bit. Can you just say like what you just
Oh
said?
yeah, a lot of mobility in the East. A lot of teams can go up and down. Yeah, and then so it'll be fun to watch.
I agree.
Who are your favorites coming out of the East? Who's your favorite?
I think. I mean, obviously the Bucks are the Bucks, but I don't want to be a bandwagoner and just say the Bucks are going to win. I think. I think the Heat. I think the Heat are really good. I
Hmm.
think they're underrated. So I'm going to give my love to the Heat. I think they have to get to the Pacers first, though, which Pacers are a really good team also. But I like the Heat. And yeah, you're right. The Celtics have a little bit of question mark. We're not sure about Kemba. We need to do some more research on that. But the Raptors have managed a really great season with Pascal. But I just think the Heat is. I don't know. I just like the Heat.
I'm gonna be a bandwagon. I'm gonna say the Bucks. I'm gonna say the Bucks, and I only say this because they awarded Chris Middleton the max, and I think they're a heads and shoulders the better team in the
Yeah.
East. I think this is the chance. This is. I mean, this wouldn't make or break for Giannis. This isn't like a defining moment for him, but there's no LeBron, there's no Kawhi. I think this is a really good chance for the Bucks to make it to the finals. And I mean, the Raptors are not too shabby either. They always know how to win.
Yeah.
But
They're a
I'm
great
gonna
team.
take the Bucks. Okay, let's talk about the West and finish up with the West. So yeah, Lakers versus Grizzlies as it stands right now. That's uh, that's got to be
Major TBD.
no way. That's got to be
But right there, no, I meant the Grizzlies because we want to see Pelicans versus Lakers, obviously.
no. Well, we're just taking the standings now as we see it.
Yeah, I know.
Lakers versus Grizzlies. Who do you got? Lakers.
Honestly,
Okay, we're moving on.
I think,
No.
unpopular opinion, I think the Grizzlies might upset the Lakers.
Okay, Clippers versus Mavericks.
Who do the Lakers have besides LeBron? AD.
Clippers versus
Jonas
Mavericks.
Valanciunas can guard him.
Clippers versus Mavericks. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. We're just gonna get the easy ones out of the way.
But look at that. They're 40-27 compared to the Clippers 44-20. They're really close when you look at the grand scheme of things when it's only second versus seventh place. So this is almost like a fourth versus fifth place matchup, like with the Heat and Pacers. It's a really close matchup, which I think people forget. So like I think the Clippers will win, but like it's not a complete no brainer for me because I mean they have Luka.
Okay, so they might not sweep. The Mavericks might win one or maybe two games, but I think the Clippers. You have to pick the Clippers here,
Yeah, the Clippers
just
are pretty
because
darn good.
Kawhi made a run last year, and they
Yeah,
have Paul George. I think there's
great
too much
supporting
load on
cast.
Doncic right now. I think I've watched some of the games, and I think when it gets into the very end of the game, it's all the eyes go to Doncic, and rightfully so. But that's also where all the defense goes, and then
Yeah,
he kind of gets. I don't think they have that player yet to kind of take the ball and take the last shot. I mean, you have
that's fair.
Porzingis, but
Free
that's a
agents will
big
be interesting.
that's a big guy. So yeah, free agency, like you said, will be interesting. I think the Mavericks are just happy to be here. You know?
That's a good way to put it. And well, they should not only happy to be here, but happy with how their record was.
Yeah,
40 and
exactly.
27. That's fifth place in the East.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that is true. That is true. Putting it into context. Okay, Nuggets versus Rockets right now as the playoff stands. This is very interesting.
Wasn't there some news on Jokic testing positive? Or did I read that wrong?
I think but I think he's had it. I think he should be fine for
Okay.
the bubble. He's a slimmed down version now. I
Yeah,
think
apparently.
so. That's good for him. Maybe his stamina will be a little
Well, I
bit
also
better.
wonder, is that better or worse? Because I mean, when you lose a lot of weight, it's hard to adjust into that body. Same thing with Harden. Apparently, he lost weight,
Oh,
but
really?
I mean, just as an athlete, thinking like when you lose a lot of weight or gain a lot of weight, it's
Mhm.
hard to get used to that if you don't have a lot of practice in it. And we have limited practice, so I wonder how
Yeah.
that might affect their game. I mean, it's going to be harder for Jokic to box out now, post up.
Yeah. We'll see. I
But
mean, it
he'll
is
be
interesting.
faster. He'll be more athletic, probably more stamina.
Yeah, he'll
Same with
definitely have.
Harden. He might not score as easily with contact now, but he might be quicker.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there's trade offs.
we'll see what happens when they play, of course. But right now, what do you think? What's your gut reaction?
Um,
So the Nuggets are third and Rockets are sixth, but 2.5 games differentiate them. It's tough. It's really tough. I think I'm
I
gonna go with the Rockets here, even though they're kind of low on like they don't have the biggest guys, and that might mean Jokic
mhm.
might have their way around, and then
Yeah, that's a major question mark for me too.
maybe Plumlee will
Didn't
be
Joakim
easy.
Noah get signed to the Clippers
Did
recently?
he?
Or
Oh, Joakim
Noah,
Noah for the.
Joakim Noah got signed somewhere for this tournament, but like
I'll look it up.
the Rockets should. I mean, how are the Rockets going to compete against Jokic? Who's going to guard like Covington? As good as defender Covington is, he'll get destroyed in the post. So
Hmm.
I think that's the major problem. So I think I have to go with Nuggets, even though both teams play pretty quick, and that's why the Rockets are they're small because they play quick. But I mean, like, yeah, who's going to guard AD when you go up against the Lakers? Who's going to guard Rudy Gobert? Who's going to guard Steven
Yeah,
Adams? Like, you know what I mean? It's
I mean, yeah, that's the whole thing with the Rockets is they're kind of undersized.
Yeah.
Um, I think they have a good chance of beating the Nuggets.
You think so?
I think I would go. I think I would go Rockets here. A little bit of an upset. All right,
Gotcha.
Jazz Thunder, go.
Um, First impression, Thunder. CP3's been really good, and he's kind of had his he's not under the shadow of Harden. It's kind of he's
Hmm.
the star there,
Hmm.
along with some really good supporting players.
Hmm.
Steven Adams. I mean, even though he didn't have the greatest of NBA seasons, like he's
He's a
still
big guy.
he's
He's a
still a
big
big
guy.
threat and a great
Yeah,
defensive guy on the block. Shea Gilgeous Alexander, like what a season he's had, and
yeah.
he's only going to continue to get better. But besides that, like they have Terrence Ferguson, that Darius Basley,
Oh yeah,
um,
basically, yeah.
but
They're definitely the
they
young
don't have
team.
a whole lot besides that. I feel like just first impression,
Hmm.
right?
Those first impressions are
Jazz are a
good.
very collected team, so they're kind of on opposites, right?
Yeah,
I think the Thunder might come on top.
yeah. I Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. I don't know if I can go against them right now against the
Mike
Thunder.
Conley,
Yeah,
Ingles. Yeah, like I could go on and go on. Like Thunder, like I know so many more players on Jazz and Thunder, like you said, but
I
I
think
like the Thunder.
Gobert is just a defensive like nightmare, and then you have Donovan Mitchell, and I don't know. I'm gonna go Jazz, but that's me. All right, who are you taking from the West?
Um, well, assuming the Grizzlies ups the Lakers, I
Okay,
think.
yeah,
No, I'm partially kidding, but I'm also like kind of serious. Like I think the Grizzlies are really good. I think if they're a good matchup against the Lakers, I think they might force Game 7 or Game 6. I don't think it'll
yeah.
be a sweep like some people might think, because I think the Grizzlies are highly underrated.
I
But
like him. I remember they're one of my favorite teams to
yeah,
watch. But
exactly. I think the main question is, I think most people are gonna kind of concerned about Lakers versus Clippers, right? Right.
that's kind of what I want to watch.
I mean, between the Lakers and Clippers, as much as I have a lot of respect for LeBron, I don't know. I just feel like the Clippers are such a much better.
They are
I like teams that are much more like collective,
like
play really
depth
well
wise.
together.
They
Let's
do have a
say,
lot more
for
depth.
example, the
Yes.
Raptors Celtics Heat, compared to people who like the 76ers. I
Hmm.
I really like that kind of teamwork kind of team, and I think the Clippers have that.
Yeah,
Paul George and Kawhi and Montrezl Harrell, Lou Will.
they
You
definitely
know,
have a deeper team, and that's something to look out for. The Lakers lose Avery Bradley. He will not be playing, so
right?
that's a defensive threat.
But they
And
signed J.R. Smith. which
J.R.
might
Smith,
actually
yeah.
hurt the Lakers and benefit the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean,
In late game situations, if you know
when
what I mean.
the Lakers beat the Clippers right before the season was suspended.
Hmm.
And I think Avery Bradley played a big part in that, in locking up,
Yeah, he's a good
you know.
defender.
But I think this game will go 7, and I, I don't know. It'll be very interesting. I'm excited. I don't know. I can't really make a prediction right now.
Yeah, I mean the Lakers have a great team too, and
From
it's
what I'm
hard.
thinking, I think I would go Lakers here. Um, but we'll see. I think LeBron puts on like a switch whenever he's in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he's
definitely.
made it to 8 straight finals when he's been in the playoffs,
Hmm.
so I think he kind of has that instincts.
But same
Granted,
with you could also say the same for Kawhi.
Kawhi does have a knack to get into the finals, so it will be interesting. It will come down to it, and I think it will show what the supporting cast is like, and
Hmm.
will Paul George live up to it? Will AD finally come into his own after
Yeah.
having like LeBron with it? So
How do when the Lakers and the Clippers play? How do they match up? Who guards who? Does Harrell guard Davis, or do they bring in Zubac? Do you know?
yeah, I think Harrell's usually on it. So AD's, yeah, I think it would usually go um for the Lakers. It would go Avery Bradley against preferably Leonard or Paul George. Um, and then LeBron's going to take one of those two. He'd probably take Paul George or something. But it'll be interesting how they match up. I think they're both pretty. They match up pretty well
Hmm.
against each other. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
looking at the Lakers roster, I mean, they have a lot of guys they could go to, but like, I just don't think they're as productive as some of the Clippers bench guys. They have Caruso, Quinn Cook, oops,
yeah,
um, Dudley, Danny Green. Danny Green's immense defensive player, but Dwight Howard, Kuzma, McGee, Morris, Rondo, Waiters. But I mean, if you look at the Clippers roster, I mean, Lou Will, obviously, we all know what he's about, and should be a starter, and he pretty much is.
yeah.
Clippers signed, they have Beverly, they have JaMychal Green, Reggie Jackson, and they recently got Joakim Noah.
Hmm.
I wonder why. Is that maybe because Harrell is a stretch 5?
Probably just more rest. And I mean, Joakim Noah, when he was in his
But
prime, was a
I
great
just realized
defender.
Montrezl Harrell is 6'7".
Yeah,
So he's
I
definitely
mean
a stretch 5. And Zubac plays sometimes. Zubac's been like decent when I see him play. They
he's
have
not. I don't think
Shamit.
he's the best defensively.
Oh no. Maybe
Um,
that's why they got Noah. Maybe they're really
Probably.
saying we need someone to guard AD. Joakim, come join us.
We'll see what happens. It will be fun to watch. And I really believe it will happen. I don't
Yeah.
have much like it's not as bleak as MLB will be, but we'll
Yeah.
we'll see. They tip off July 30th.
Yeah. Excited.
Um,
It's a month away.
yeah, honestly. So we'll see. But I think that wraps up our podcast. Thanks for joining us and listening in, and we will see you Thursday.
Yep. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
See you guys.